You know that thing between your ears you're using to think right now? It is, without a doubt, the most powerful object in the known universe. But, and this is a big but, it comes with some serious bugs. I'm talking hidden shortcuts and glitches that shape your decisions every single day, and you probably don't even realize it. So today, we're going to pop the hood and look at the user's guide. Just think about that for a second. What if your deepest beliefs, your gut feelings about people or money, what if all of that is just the product of a lazy, error-prone machine? That's the huge, kind of scary question posed by the work of Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, and we're going to dive right into his findings. Okay, so to really get how your brain works, and more importantly, how it fails, you first have to understand that you're not just one single mind. Nope. There are actually two competing systems, almost like two characters that are constantly fighting for control of your thoughts. So let's meet them. First up, you've got System 1. This is your gut. It's your brain on total autopilot. It's fast, it's intuitive, and it is always on. It's the part of you that knows 2 plus 2 is 4 without thinking, or sees an angry face and just gets it instantly. And then there's System 2. This is the deep thinker. It's slow, logical, and man, does it require some real effort. This is the part of your brain you have to consciously use to solve a tough math problem or really weigh the pros and cons of a big life decision. Now, this is the really crucial part. System 1, it's the star of the show. It is running things almost all the time. But System 2? Well, it is incredibly lazy. It operates on what Kahneman calls the law of least effort. Basically, it would much rather just hang out on the sidelines and will only jump in when System 1 gets totally stuck and has no other choice. And this laziness? This right here is the root cause of so many of our mental mistakes. And here's a wild experiment that just brilliantly shows how lazy and, frankly, blind our brains can be. People were asked to watch a video and count the number of times a team wearing white passed basketball. Now, that's a task that requires some serious focus, right? It forces that lazy System 2 to get off the couch and get to work. But while they were busy counting, a man in a full-on gorilla suit walks into the middle of the screen, beats his chest, and then just walks off. The result? Half of the viewers did not see the gorilla at all. Their System 2 was so laser-focused on that one hard task that it literally filtered out something as absurd as a gorilla, right in plain sight. So you might be asking, what happens when our lazy System 2 doesn't step in? Well, our brain takes shortcuts. They're called heuristics, just to get through the day. And these shortcuts, they're the source of some of the most predictable and dangerous bugs in our thinking, what we now call cognitive biases. All right, let's try a little experiment right now. Don't look anything up, just go with your gut. Are there more or less than 44 Swedens that could fit inside the United States by area? Just a quick more or less. Okay, you've got an answer? Good. Now for part 2. Give me your best guess. A specific number. How many Swedens do you really think can fit inside the USA? Lock it in your head. The right answer is about 22. Now be honest, was your guess a lot higher than 22? If you're like most people, your guess was probably somewhere up in the 30s, maybe even the 40s. So, why were you so far off? Well, you've just been a victim of something called the anchoring effect. That first number I gave you, 44, it was completely random. But your brain, desperate for a shortcut, it latched onto it. It used it as a starting point, an anchor, and it couldn't drift too far away, even though that number was totally irrelevant. And this happens all the time, whether you're negotiating a salary or just looking at the price tag on a car. But it's not just random numbers that hijack our thinking. Oh no, our emotions are even more powerful. They are constantly tricking our System 1 into making choices that aren't logical but just feel right. Okay, let me put you in charge of a tough situation. Imagine a rare disease is about to hit a town with 600 people, and if we do nothing, all of them are expected to die. You've got 2 possible programs to fight it. So listen to these 2 options. Program A is 200 people will be saved. Program B is 400 people will die. Which one sounds better to you? Which one do you pick? Overwhelmingly, people pick Program A. I mean, saving 200 people sounds certain, it sounds positive. 400 people will die just sounds awful. But here's the thing, do the math. Saving 200 out of 600 means 400 will die. They are the exact same outcome. This is the framing effect. Your choice wasn't based on logic at all. It was based entirely on whether the information was framed as a gain or a loss. And trust me, advertisers and politicians use this against you all the time. All right, one more. Let's play a game. A simple coin toss. If it's heads, I give you $150. If it's tails, you give me $100. Now, mathematically, the odds are totally in your favor. It's a good bet. So, do you take it? If you hesitated or just straight up said no, you're not alone. Most people refuse this bet. And why is that? It comes down to a really powerful bias called loss aversion. Our brains are wired so that the sting of a loss feels about twice as intense as the pleasure of an equal gain. That fear of losing $100 is way more powerful than the possible excitement of winning $150. And this causes us to make all sorts of bad financial choices, like selling stocks that are winning way too early or holding on to losing stocks for way too long. So we've seen how our brains are kind of wired to fail, right? We get anchored, we get tricked by framing, we're terrified of loss. The big question is, can we actually do anything about it? And the answer is yes. It's all about learning to see past the illusion. Look, the solution isn't to get rid of System 1. You couldn't even if you tried, and you wouldn't want to. That fast, intuitive thinking is what helps you drive a car or just get through your day. The real skill is learning to recognize the situations, the high-stakes decisions, the moments with strong emotional pulls, where System 1 is probably going to make a mistake. The key is to consciously hit the pause button and force your lazy System 2 to wake up and do its job. That awareness, that's your first and most important tool. But if you want a more advanced tool, here's a brilliant one. It's called a pre-mortem. So when you're about to make a big decision, like launching a new project, you get your team together and you say this. Okay, everyone, let's imagine it's 1 year from now, and this project was a complete, total disaster. Then you have everyone spend a few minutes writing down every single reason they can think of for why it failed. What this does is it flips our natural overconfidence on its head. It forces System 2 to really critically look at all the potential weaknesses in a plan before they ever have a chance to become reality. So as we wrap this up, I'm just going to leave you with this question to think about. The next time you have a really strong gut feeling about an investment, about a person, about any big decision, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, is this real insight, or is my brain just taking a lazy, emotional shortcut? Because being able to tell the difference between those two, well, that's the first step to actually reclaiming your own mind.